everything, and there we go. There's our next section done. So we'll leave that there. We'll go over to UDesign, and all right, so then we've got this user section. It's all in one column, but there's something special about this. You see we've got an image below. We've got this parallax thing happening over here. So this one is a little bit funny because I think there's something wrong with the browser, but it seems to be, as you can see here, some kind of stuff happening. But anyway, we've got our own image to do this. So what we need is a full section, and then we've got an orange section after that. So let's go and take care of this one here, and we're nearly done. With another 5 minutes, we'll be finished. So back over here, we're going to add, we're going to go back to our page builder, of course. All right, let's start up there. We're going to add one column. We're going to drag that all the way down the bottom here, right underneath everything we've done so far. There we go. All right. Now, first thing we need to do is we need to find an image. No, first thing we need to do is actually go in here, change this to full width, okay? And we're going to change the content on this one to full width as well, and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, the background is going to be an image on this one because we need to create that parallax thing. And I don't have exactly the same image as the one you saw in the demo, so what I did is I've uploaded something very similar, okay? And we're going to select that as our image. It has to be quite a large image. As you can see, this one is actually 1920 by 275, and you can see that we've actually got a photo there. But we're going to change this to parallax, okay? And we're going to change the speed to medium. Okay, we've got no border, so we're going to save that. All right, so we've got an image there right now, and in our back row, should I say, it's there, full width, parallax. Oops, I didn't select the photo. That's the problem. It's not appearing. There we go. And kind of got rid of it. There you go. We've got the parallax happening down there. Once we've actually got a bit of content in here, that area will get bigger. You'll be able to see more of the picture. But what I wanted to do here is I also just wanted to get rid of all the padding on this because actually I don't want to get rid of the padding. It was the next section I need to get rid of the padding, so let's just leave that alone. Alright, so in this column here we need to add a text module, okay? And so we're going to do, I'm just going to do a text editor, and we're going to put it in there. Okay, so what we need to do with this one is we need to go into advanced. We need to do our background color on this one. And I'm telling you porkies here because porkies are English for pork pies or lies, and I'm not doing the right thing here. So I'm just going to cancel that. What I've got is this column. Okay, there we go. I've just got to go into the column settings first. Okay, I'm going to change this to a black. Okay, and I'm going to change the opacity down to about 70%. And I'm going to try and create that effect that we had before. This is where I need to get rid of all the margins and stuff. So right now I have still got margins wrapped around. I'm going to see what happens if I don't do anything. So we're going to save that. Now I'm going to add my text editor inside that column. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go over here and we're going to copy all this stuff there. Copy that. I'll take it over here, paste it into the section. All right, and on this section here, this is where I want to remove all my margins because I want this to stretch out to the edges of the screen. Okay, so that's that, except for the left and the right, and I want to go in to, let's go 240. We'll go 240 on this side also. Okay, you'll see what happens in a minute. You can't see right now, but you'll see. Actually, maybe we need to go 340. 340 and 340. And we're going to general. We're going to center all this text here. And so that's center that. You can't see what's happening right now, but you will be able to in a minute. Okay, so we're going to go here and look at the top one. It is white, and then that's white below. So I'm going to change this into an H2. and we're going to make it white. So we just choose a white background over here. This one is not quite as big, but I think we'll just leave it as is. We'll see what the H4 looks like, and we can adjust it afterwards. So that's changed. Now we just go over here and actually look at this. So this is gray, except for that last word, which is bolded out white as the, looks like it's a quote there. It is a quote. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go make all that gray. Now I can't get a gray dot light enough in here, so I'm just going to go and just pick one random up there like that. You can always go back and change it. And I think that one was white, so we're just going to make that white, bold. Oops, that affects the actual whole column. So you know what we'll do is we'll just have to make that one white. Okay, and bold. Okay, that's good. All right, so and then the user reviews down here is orange. I know that. Okay, so that's the link. So what have we got? Yep, all good. Okay, we've got a couple of colors in there, but I'm not going to worry about that. All right, so we're going to save that. There we go. All right. Now what the problem we've got is that we don't have enough here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some padding in here. Actually, I can't add some padding, but I'm going to add some margin. So I'm going to add let's say 100 at the top there. There we go. It's probably too much. I'm going to take that down to 80. Okay, and then I'm going to add some on the bottom, probably another 80 to give us a bit of space at the bottom. There we go. Let's have a look at this one over here quickly. Okay, so we've got 80 and 80, roughly that. Yeah, it looks about the same. All right, you can see that we've got a nice little area at the top there. But what we're going to do is, we've got pretty good there. Okay, so this is actually a little bit bigger. I'm going to style that in a minute, but let's go back here, make that a little bit bigger and bolder. So we'll just increase the font size on that to 12, and we'll make it bold. There. Okay, good stuff. All right. Problem is we got this wrapped around here. Now, I'm going to save that. Okay, I'm going to go to this row, and I'm going to see if I can take the padding out of that and see if we can actually get it to stretch out to the edge. Okay, so let's see if I take this down as 0. There we go. Bottom to 0 and left and right to 0. And there we go. We've got that whole thing covered. So when we scroll down, we've got it. Beautiful. All right, I think we're on to the last section now. The last section on here is this orange section before we get to the footer. So I'm just going to actually, that's really bright, so we're going to quickly sample that. Go back over here. I'm going to add a row, so add content, and then we're going to row layouts, one column. I'm going to add it below here. Okay, we've got a nice big orange section. I'm going to go here. This is going to be, that's the column. I want to be actually on the row. So I didn't add that properly, as you can see. So I'm going to delete it. I'm going to go back up again. I'm going to add a row, and I'm going to make sure I miss this one this time. There. So you've got to drop it below that section. So now I've got a row options. I'm going to change the background to color, and now we're going to put that really bright orange in here. So paste that. There you go. One thing I didn't do is obviously change the to full width. Okay. Now you'll see this full width. And just to make sure our content is held in there, so I've actually got 2 columns in there. So I'm going to save that. And we are going to add 2 columns, row layouts, 2 columns inside there. Actually, yep. There we go. And I'm going to delete that one. We don't need that one anymore. And I think this is split again, so I'm going to do what I did before, pick this 67, save it. Now I've got my 2 rows. Okay, perfect. Or 2 columns, should I say. Now I've got this one. I'm going to do this in a header. Control C. And what what we can actually do in the row here, just to make things real quick, we can change the color of the text that we put into here. So every bit of text we put in defaults to white. It overrides the theme. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag a header or a heading section into here. Okay, and I'm going to paste that into there. As you can see, we've got that. So I'm going to change it to H2. Now the problem is I'm not getting all the way across like this one is, and it's probably down a little bit. So we're going to go to H3, but I'm going to just change my padding and stuff on here a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the left one out. I'm going to change that to 0, and I'm going to change the right one out to 0 too. And that didn't actually do any difference there, did it? So we might need to make this column just a little bit wider, and we can do that really easy. I'll show you in a second. But let's just leave that as is for now. So we'll save that. And we'll just go into this column and we'll just change this to 25%. There we go. Now we've got that going all the way across. Perfect. Now on this one, quick look over here, we've just got one button. We can't make a button exactly the same as that, but we can certainly create a button that will work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go add content. We go to the advanced modules, we choose button, drag that over to this thing here, that column, should I say? What am I saying? Thing. Anyway, we're going to make that a little bit better than what it looks like. I don't want this crappy looking standard gray button, but we've got buy design theme now. Okay, buy theme, design theme. So buy design theme now. Okay, so we might have to play around with these columns a little bit because I wanted that to be a bit better than that. So we will go and style this now. So we're going to make the background a very dark orange. Let's just choose a very. That's not working. So let's just go with a grey background, or maybe a white background. That'll work. Okay, we'll play with this for a little bit. Maybe a little bit darker background. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something really cool. I'm going to make it a black button. There. Okay, and we're going to change the hover cover on this to a grey. There. We'll change the text color to white, and we'll change the hover cover to white also. Okay, and what we need to do is we need to just change the padding on this one. So we're going to change it to 0 on this side and 0 on that side, 0 on that side. Add the bottom one back in again, and that way we've got the full button going across. All right, brilliant. What we're going to do is just bring that down. I'm going to put a bit more padding on there just to make this orange section a bit bigger. So we're going to save that there. Okay. Oops, and I forgot to put the link. You have to put a link in, but I don't have a link, and I can't put in that silly. Okay, so you know what? Here we go. There's something wrong. I've got to reset my browser. I don't want to do this while I'm recording. You see, I'm getting the funny characters. So we will just do mysite.com. There we go. And save. I don't know if you get that, but sometimes Chrome messes up and starts adding in really weird characters. It's been happening for a long time for me, and I've never found a fix for it. But anyway, that's beside the point. So we're just going to push this down another 10 pixels to balance it up with that. Save. All right, so we've got that. Now at the bottom here on this one, we've got a footer module, and I'm just going to show you how to add that really quick with the Dynamik theme, and then we're done. So let's just save this right now. In our page, can't tell the difference between the two. So done. Publish changes. Actually, you know what I got to do? One last thing. I didn't change this to UDesign, so I got to go back one more time and change this to Beaver. There we go. Done. Save. And we'll go back up to done. publish changes. That's our page done. So what we'll do is I'll go quickly over to our dashboard, and we're going to go into the Dynamics design settings. This is how to get your footer really quickly. I'm going to go to the easy. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add an easy footer on the home pages, actually on all posts. Okay, even on the archives and the blog. So we can actually do the quick way there. We'll uncheck them all or check them all. So Eric's actually added a nice little feature over there to do that. Thanks, Eric. You've thought of a lot of little things, just like this, the Save Changes button being in the same place every time. These little things do matter when you're working in a program like this. Anyway, so we're going to actually select a 4-column footer, and I've got it set to outside the inner div, so it will stretch out to the page. And all we need to do is click Save Changes. I'm not going to go and create all those footer icons on this particular page, because you've got basically, these are all widgets anyway. I'm just going to, just to demonstrate the purpose, I'm going to go over to widgets, and I'm just going to put 4 calendars into each one of those footer areas. So I'm going to save that, and then you'll see what I mean by adding the footer. So one more, and save that. Another one in this one, save that one, and one more, and save that. All right, so we're all saved now. If we go back over to our page, we'll go back over here and visit our site. We will go to our home page. Okay. Oh, one thing I didn't do was the slider. God, how did I forget that? Anyway, there's our footer in the bottom there. So as you can see, you can just add your own content. Okay, so the slider, we've got to go back in here. Okay, first of all, we're going to go back to my play area. And we're just going to get the slider. So we need to go into Revolution slider. Now, actually, the slider for this one is I'm able to import it. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to import this file, and I'm going to, as you can see, I've got the U design, but the actual slider is in there as well. So the U design guy gave you the slider, so I'm going to import that slider. And it's going to default to slider 1, I'm sure. And there we go. So slider 1, okay. All I need to do is copy that shortcode there, Control C. All right, and then we're going to go back to our pages again. So I've got all pages, home, and page builder. Now remember, I added that that header section up here just to hold it. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to delete that. Okay, and now I'm just going to add in an HTML area, which is in the advanced modules. Okay, just put that in there. Now what I can do is just post my rev slider in there, save. Okay, and there's my slider, but I think I might have to do something to the slider to make it stretch all the way across the page, but maybe it's done. Let's have a quick look, publish changes, and we will look at our page. Okay, got something going on with the boundaries of this one, so I'm just going to adjust those real quick. I'm going to go into page builder. I'm just going to take off I'm going to take the advanced. I'm going to take all the margins off of this one, that one, and that one, and that one. Save. So that's all the margins. I still got a bit of a gap there, and that's caused by the row. I've got padding inside the row, so if I take these off, I should basically end up with a nice smooth slider at the top. And I think that is it. Publish changes. Okay, so we'll do a before and after. There we go. Right, so here's the U design. I'm going to go to the top. I'm actually going to reset the page. There we go. Stop. And side by side, here's ours. And as you can see, we're going to scroll down here. We've got all the functionality of the U design page. It is now a B design page. Okay, although you wouldn't have the calendars at the bottom. That is the end of the demo. I hope you've had a fun time learning about what Beaver Builder can do, what you can do with Dynamik website builder, and I thank you for your time. If you want more information, there are links to everything that I've mentioned in this page will be on the bottom of this video. Once again, it's Colin from Dynamik Beaver. Thanks very much for your time and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.